I'm gonna sum it up for you. So Angela Yee left the Breakfast Club, and for like a year they were auditioning different people to fill her slot. Jess Hilarious is one of the recurring guest co-hosts that came on. Loren LoRosa was also a guest co-host a couple times, but you know, the internet really urged for Jess Hilarious to be hired, and I'm one of them. I remember she made a post. I think she made a post. Like a clip from one episode on there, or I don't know what she was doing, but I remember I commented. I was like, I said we need to start a petition to have her on the show. I commented under her post, and she pinned it. And I tried to go back and see if I can find it, but I couldn't find it, and I was getting impatient. I was like, fuck it. But anyway, she had a post on her page right before she got hired, and I was like, let's start a petition to get her hired or whatever. And she liked it. She pinned it. So if you guys watch this and you guys know what post I'm talking about, like, let me know, like, whatever. But she pinned my comment, and I was like, yes, yay, whatever. But anyway, so they ended up hiring Jess Hilarious, right, and which was a great decision. But you know, with the Breakfast Club, right? You know, they're one of the longest running radio. Like it's a cultural staple, all that stuff, right? But you know, nowadays we have so many podcasts now, and so many. You know, we're getting more into streaming as well. You know what I'm saying? But like we have like the Club Shay Shays, the Joe Budden podcast, the Rory and Mal, and all, you know, all these other podcasts, and you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, so like they're trying to keep up, and I feel like at one point their ratings weren't really giving at some point or whatever. So I guess, you know, they saw that the internet really was rooting for Jess Hilarious, so they wanted to go with what the internet wants. You know, the audience does decide at the end of the day. And especially, you know, it's a lot of pressure with all these new podcasts, and especially with Club Shay Shay. Even after that Cat Williams Club Shay Shay thing, like after the Club Shay Shay Cat Williams interview, I feel like a lot of different platforms tried to do a shift. Everyone is, you know, I feel like everyone is super intentional with the guests they have on their show. They're super intentional on the guests they have on their show, and they're super intentional on the questions they ask, and they make sure to ask the most viral questions because they want the clicks, they want the clips, they want all these things. Like of course that's always the goal with these platforms, but I just feel like for me, I noticed that people are really trying to do that after the Cat Williams thing. Because I feel like the Cat Williams interview with Club Shay Shay, it really shifted everything. It put Club Shay Shay, you know, up there some more. You know what I mean? So now everyone's trying to be on Club Shay Shay now, like everybody, and everyone's trying to, and everyone's
like, they on here?
Yeah, and everyone's, and even when it's the questions that Shay Shay asks them, and it's the way that they answer the questions as well. They're all being intentional on like what clip is about to be made from this, but. With the Breakfast Club, I think they notice all those things, and they want to stay current because, you know, they want to keep afloat. So of course the internet at one point internet really wanted Jess Hilarious on there. They hired her. So then she was on Breakfast Club or whatever. Great, happy. So she got pregnant, but she was still on there throughout her pregnancy until she had to leave for maternity leave. But when she was on there, I even noticed that, like, you know, Jess is a viral internet star, and you know she can bring the clicks and views, cool, right? But I feel like when she was actually on there, like when she really was hired and really was on there, I feel like you know, the content wasn't really up to par. For example, like, you know, when they would talk about the different hot topics or different stories that would go on, I feel like she was ill prepared. I feel like, you know, I feel like they didn't really cover the basis of the actual story. A lot of times I will watch it and I'll be like, oh my God, no, this is wrong. What are you talking about? Like, oh my God, no, this. I would sit there and wish they said this and that, and like I'll be like, no, that's wrong. No, I know this info about this. Like, I'll be upset that they weren't prepared. They didn't know the info that needed to be, you know, put out, right? So I was like, dang, like they didn't even talk about this the right way. Like, I can do it better than this. Like, what? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's how I felt for a little bit, right? Then she ended up going on maternity leave, because the thing is, this is the thing, right? With Angela Yee, I feel like Angela Yee is a little bit more well-rounded. Like, even though she has like a nice, like, you know, she has like more of like a daintier personality. She has more of a feminine personality versus like Jess Hilarious. Like, you know, Jess Hilarious is more like outspoken, more extrovert. With Angela Yee, you know, she has her humor or whatever. She has humor, and then she also has structure. You know what I'm saying? Like she can cover. She's a journalist as well, and she could sit there, you know, with Charlamagne and Envy, and have enough humor, crack her little jokes, but then still get to the questions, get to the story, have all the details. She can read it. She can read the paper without stuttering and stampering over words. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like Jess Hilarious. Another thing that bothered me is that she wouldn't read things properly, and it would kind of bother me with that too. Like her delivery would bother me. It would be all over the place sometimes. But anyway, so Jess Hilarious ended up leaving for maternity leave, and they had Loren LoRosa fill in for her while she was gone.
Right.
Loren LoRosa is amazing. I feel like she fills the Angela Yee slot perfectly. Like I feel like she's a journalist. She's a journalist. Like she came from TMZ. She is a journalist, and she also has humor. She can also spar with Charlamagne and Envy, and like, you know what I'm saying. All those things. It's good. Like she is good. So they you know, the internet loved Loren, right? And then when Jess came back, it was another shift again, because it's like we were used to Loren and her level of professionalism, or her level of work ethic, and then Jess came back on, where it was like, damn, like we're shifting back to how Jess, and this is no shade, we're shifting back to Jess, where like, you know, she has her humor and she has her own personality, and she brings what she brings to the table, but it doesn't bring what we need for this news pop culture segment, right? Because her segment was called Jess with the Mess, of course, because we know her by that, right? So yes, the internet was sounding off with that. The internet felt that way or whatever, and so I guess, you know, of course, they're looking at the comments. The producers are looking at the comments, so they want the audience. The audience decides, guys. At the end of the day, the audience decides. So they would have Loren do Jess's segment for her, and they would still call it Jess with the Mess. And then people started like comparing them, and it started being a situation. So this is where things kicked off, right? Where because I always felt like behind the scenes they see it, they know it is going, this is what's going on. So it really kicked off when Corey Holcomb was on a podcast, and he was talking, you know, because him and, you know, Corey Holcomb and Jess Hilarious have their own history of beef. They've been beefing for so many years, whatever, right? According to Envy, they've been beefing for 11 years, and I think they have, like, they've been beefing since Jess's son was like a toddler or whatever.
Corey beef with everybody.
Oh, he do? He probably do.
He just be saying, he say what he feels.
Yeah, I don't see him until he's saying something nasty about somebody. So maybe it is he beef with everybody. I don't know. But anyway, so he was on some podcast, and he was ripping Jess a new one and saying like all the things that people are saying online, and some more things. And so I guess that kind of kicked it off, where Jess later on that day, she went on Instagram Live and spilled the tea for us. Like, you know, she talked about how frustrated she was. She talked about how, you know, she feels like Charlamagne and Envy don't come to her defense publicly. She has, behind the scenes, she has asked questions about Loren, like, you know, because she came back from maternity leave and Loren was still there, and then Loren is doing her segment. It's called Just with the Mess, but Loren is doing it. So it's giving off, you don't think that I could do my job, my segment. So she was saying, like, she was asking production, like, what's going on, like why she's still here, what's going on, whatever. So production is telling her, oh, you know, we always, you know, thought about maybe having a fourth seat. And she's like, what? No, because I'm on contract. Like, I signed up to be the third mic. I signed up to be with Charlamagne and Envy. Nothing ever mentioned fourth seat at all. Right. You know what I'm saying? So
that would be crazy.
But she kept asking that. Like, she kept like saying like, what's going on? Because mind you, like, they hired her, right? And she's been there for like a year and some change, maybe 2 years almost. Right. But it's like, what are you trying? Like, are you trying to phase me out? Like, what are you trying to do? This is weird. You have her on here. No one's telling me anything, and you have her doing my segment. She's only on camera when she's doing my segment. What's going on? Are you phasing me out? And I get why she would ask that. So it was drama with that. They wouldn't tell her anything. And then she was complaining about how Charlamagne and Envy didn't have her back. And so she was saying a lot, like, you know, let me see if I can actually pull up a little bit of it, so you guys can hear something. So just for the plot, y'all. Just for the plot. No, this is Heard on the Curb, honey. This is Heard on the Curb by me. It's only me, honey.
My bad.
I'm gonna play a little clippity clip of Jess Hilarious on Instagram Live, and then I'm gonna talk about how they confronted each other.
Okay.
News. I'm like, all right, look, that's our segment. Take me off that. Y'all give her that. Take me off that. This is her segment now. This is no longer Jess with the Mess. You know, got dark fast as a mother. Okay. I said, take me off that. This is no longer my segment. I said it. Take me off of that.
So Jess is explaining how she's like, why is she only doing my segment? Take me off the segment and make it about Loren. Name it Loren's Corner, Loren's this. So now it's a segment called The Latest with Loren. But she was saying like, whatever. And then also she mentioned in the Instagram Live, she said that, even DJ Envy and Charmaine told her like, do you want her in the room? Because when she kept asking why she's still here, like, they would ask her like, do you want her in the room? Like, if you don't want her in the room, we don't have to have her in the room. But she's like, no, she can be in the room. She's good at what she does. I just don't like how I'm asking y'all what's going on. No one's telling me what's going on. And then she's only talking during my segment. That's a problem for me. And then, they would do segments together, and at one point, like, they will over talk each other. And then there were clips where they would see Jess Hilarious basically telling her to shut up and hush and be quiet, wait, I'm talking. And it was starting to get a little bit hostile on air. And she explained that. So then she also mentioned that you notice that on a few episodes, Jess is not there and Loren is just filling in for her completely. Jess started picking up comedy shows, so she's actually on tour as well, doing shows and stuff. And she said, like, I just said, F it, I'm gonna just pick up some more shows because the money's good over there too, and I have more fun doing stand up. And I really wanted this Breakfast Club position, but right now I'm having more fun doing stand up. And I don't blame her because I feel like you're phasing me out. Even though I'm on contract, it's giving. When my contract is up, it's feeling like I'm up, and it's like I need to make sure that I'm stay true to myself, and I need to make sure that I keep my brand running. So let me go. Yeah, go ahead. Let Loren sit right here. I'm gonna go pick up some more shows real quick.
Right.
And I'm gonna stay within my roots. You know what I'm saying? Anywho, let's go to the next slide.
It's ran like a high school. Yeah. It's ran like a high school. It is. Fair East Side High. Fair East Side High. Before Mr. Clark, though. Like when he first got there. I don't have no reason to on that girl. I don't. No, I didn't like her when I came back because I'm like, all right, what's going on? What's going on? She knew it. We had a conversation. Because the anger was misplaced. Nah, it ain't even you that I don't like. I'm realizing this is the way these doing up here that I don't like. Okay, got it. It's her segment. I went to the person who does the intros, the sound. I went to Taylor. Yo, Taylor, make Loren her intro. Take Jess with the mess all day. She says, things can't just change like that. Why the not? Why not? Y'all changing everything else, and I'm the only one that don't know. My group don't know nothing. Just with the.
So, I just think that I don't think that there's some people that don't like Jess Hilarious, and that their opinions on this are swayed one way. Right, there's some people that are mutual, and they're saying like they understand where she's coming from, and some people are are on Loren's side, and they're saying like Loren is better for the job. Loren's more qualified than Jess Hilarious, and I just feel like Jess Hilarious does fit the Angela Yee mold more than Jess does. I mean Loren fits the Angela Yee mold that more than Jess does. But it's just the fact that because it seems like I like the fact that it's two women and two men. That's cool for me. If it's let it be more of a podcast, because it's more of a podcast anyway. Let it be more of a podcast. Even though I don't know if you guys consider 4 people to be too many people for a podcast, but I think it's cool. But I feel like the fact that Loren is involved in it is because Jess is lacking in that area where we're used to consuming the Breakfast Club. You know what I'm saying? Let me see. Okay. Yes. So Loren was doing a great job while she was there, and it's giving that. I feel like they gave her a job there now. So now they gave her a title of senior news producer. I guess she orchestrates the topics and things like that because of course she does it better than Jess does. Fine, great. So I guess they're giving her that title or floating her in that way, but she works at the Breakfast Club now. She works there now. It's giving that she has a slot there. I mean, I just feel like I knew that Jess coming out saying this was going to give mixed reviews and she was going to be claimed to be jealous or this or that. I'm not mad at Jess doing that. I'm not mad at her doing that because I feel like she spoke on it, and I feel like, you know, now when I let it play out, I feel like now they've had a couple episodes, you know, after the fact, you know, they had her the day after the whole Instagram live, they came on air and they confronted each other, her and Loren and all you know, Charlotte and Envy, and I just feel like, you know, Jess laid it out on the table, and her main thing was, you know, like, y'all aren't telling me anything. She's only talking during my segment, and you know what's going on here. Like, why is this? Like, what's going on here? I feel like we're fighting for airtime. What's going on here? And I feel like the whole I will say I feel like Charlamagne and Envy were purposely dismissing her. They were purposely not getting the point. I feel like they were gaslighting her. I do think they were gaslighting her. They claim, like, don't look at the comments, Jess. You can't look at the comments, whatever. I'm like, all y'all look at the comments. Y'all all look at the comments. Even the freaking producers of the freaking show, like, the audience chose Jess. You guys hired Jess because the audience chose her. The internet kept saying, pick Jess, pick Jess, pick Jess. You all are doing, and now you kept Loren because everyone says, keep Loren, keep Loren, keep Loren. That's why you guys kept Loren, because we all are saying, keep Loren, she's better. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, y'all all look at the comments. But she also revealed that she complained to Charlamagne about how, you know, what the internet would say about her versus Loren, and about how, like, she told Loren to shut up one time on air, and she said that Charlamagne texted her and said, play into it, give us some more drama. So, like, they want to keep viral moments. They want to, because they want to keep up with all of the other platforms that are out there that are really viral. Right. You know what I'm saying?
That's a lot of platforms.
But yeah, they hashed it out on air. People kept saying, oh, why is this not handled behind the scenes? Hush. Jess literally just explained that she tried to handle it behind the scenes, and they were acting stupid. So they were playing dumb when she tried to ask them behind the scenes. So yes, it got hashed out on air, and I'm glad it got hashed out on air, because, you know, y'all are comparing these two women, and I feel like, you know, both Jess Hilarious and Loren LoRosa are two self-made. They're two self-made women. They built themselves up. We saw how Jess Hilarious built herself up. Right. I'm just now becoming familiar with Loren LoRosa, but I follow her now. I'm follow her TikTok. I follow her Instagram. I'm tapped into what she's doing. I follow her on Twitter. I'm tapped into what she's doing. Like, I love seeing her build herself up, and the fact that she came from a platform like TMZ, I feel like she is definitely legitimized for sure. Oh, for sure. I will say this though, and I have a question for you about something. Another internet argument about Jess Hilarious was that, oh, you guys hired her, but she's not even qualified. She's not qualified because of the way she delivers, you know, the news, and, you know, how kind of shaky it is with her delivery. And at first I would agree with it. Like I said, I felt like Loren LoRosa is more well-rounded, but when it comes to being qualified, I don't want to ever, I no longer agree with the she's not qualified argument, only because she's there because she got herself there. She's there because she worked her way up to the point where the Breakfast Club hired her. Right. So Jess Hilarious is qualified. When any space that Jess Hilarious is in, I feel like she's qualified because she worked her way up there from the ground up. We saw her on the internet work her way up to this status. She's in every room that she's in. I feel like she worked her way. I love that she's from Maryland, by the way. I love that. But I feel like any room that Jess Hilarious is in, she worked her way into that room. So she's qualified to me. Right. Whether you like her material or not, she's qualified to me. Loren LoRosa, I just became familiar with her. To me, she's qualified. Like, her the way she delivers her talent, she's qualified to me. I love it. She's qualified as well. Right. But that's my whole thing with the whole qualified argument. And that's how I feel. What do you think? I have a question for you before you answer that. Go ahead. There's also like this internet running joke about, oh, you know, we need to make podcast mics more, you know, $1 million because we're tired of this, you know, whatever, right? And like, I see that and I'm like, oh my God, are they talking about me? Is my podcast like, oh, like, you know, why does she have a mic? Do people think that about me?